thank you for joining me for my daily listening of music. And today we're listening to Johnny Cash, Riders in the Sky. It was a patron vote winner and the theme was haunting. So I'm not sure if it's technically about a haunting. I think it might be technically about the spirits of damned cowboys. But I don't know if it's also a hauntingly beautiful song. So we'll find out. Let's give it a listen. I think we're going to go for actual, like, woo haunting, you know? You can be both, you know?
An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day.
Yeah, definitely.
Out on a ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw, plowing through the ragged sky and up a cloudy draw.
Okay, so if you listen closely, you're gonna get the story. It's a very good storytelling song, and he's very he's kind of got this amazing way of kind of drawing through it, being quite smooth. Yet you also can pick up the lyrics really, really well, and it's very important for a song like this because it is a storytelling song, right? And it is the story of haunting. This song was written by a guy called Stan Jones, and he said that he'd been told the story when he was 12 years old by a Native American, and he related the story to Wayne Hester, a boyhood friend, and they were both looking at the clouds, and as he was telling the story, he saw that the clouds made the shape of these ghost riders and was amazed. And that was his inspiration. And so years later, he put together the lyrics, and he actually put it together or based it on the melody of a Civil War era popular song called When Johnny Comes Marching Home. So I don't know if you know that song, but it is kind of the melody of that as well.
Were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky.
I can't help but smile when I listen to his voice.
Coming hard, and they heard their mournful cry.
Okay, before we go into a longer section, of course, Johnny Cash is a baritone. He has such warmth in his voice, baritone bass, and I love his voice as it ages. If you haven't heard his cover of Hurt, which is actually a 9 Inch Nails song, who'd have thought Johnny Cash would do a cover of a 9 Inch Nails song? But my goodness, it is one of the best things ever. So I would definitely go check it out. Now, Johnny Cash's real name isn't actually Johnny. It's so weird. His parents named him JR because they couldn't decide on what name to call him. So they just called him JR, the initials. And he actually didn't change his name to John until later on when he joined the army, I think. And he didn't actually change his name to John until he joined the Air Force in 1950. So when he was an adult.
Yippee-I-O.
Sky. I love that wobbly vibrato. I love the animal. Like sounds like an eagle. So this whole backing, the sounds of the eagles, the sounds of this kind of no, Johnny Cash is well known for it. It's that kind of train-like rhythm. But here it reminds me of the galloping of horses. So everything is set up to allow you to be immersed in the world of the storytelling as a listener. I love that in music. I love when people just truly immerse you almost in the soundscape of where you're listening to that story from. And that is really, really beautiful. Some really unusual facts about Johnny Cash. He was a super intelligent guy, And he actually was a code breaker during the Korean War, and he served in the Air Force in Germany, and he was someone who intercepted and deciphered Soviet radio transmissions. So he is all round very smart.
Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, their shirts all soaked with sweat. He's riding hard to catch that herd, but he ain't caught 'em yet.
There's some resonance as well.
'Cause they've got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on horses snorting fire. As they ride on, hear their cry. As the riders loped on by him, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell, riding on our range, cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies.
He has such a distinctive voice with the drawl, the slides. It's his accent as well, the resonance. He has such resonance, and that's something that if all of us can work on. Some of us have naturally more or less, and resonance is how many of these frequencies that we're boosting. Are we just boosting one frequency? Well, you probably are not just boosting the one frequency. If you are boosting just the frequency that is the note that you hear, then you would sound like a sine wave. If you don't know what that is, Google sine wave and you'll hear it's just like it's very thin sounding. But what actually happens when we sing is that there's layers of notes above the main frequency that we're singing, above the pitch that we're singing and below, and that creates our tone. And the more that these are kind of beefed out, I suppose, the more resonant your sound can sound. Now, some are more important than others, and everyone has their own distinctive pattern of where things are boosted and where they're not, and that's what gives them their tone. He definitely has a lot of that lower range in there.
Yippee-yi-oh. Oh, yippee-yi-yay.
He sounds so calm as well.
Ghost riders in the sky. Ghost riders in
And it's fun.
the sky. Ghost riders in the sky.
Thank you for joining me again for some learning and loving music each day. Before we go, I'd love to let you know that I am releasing my own album, Fable. All the information is down in the description. Some songs have already been released on Spotify and here on YouTube, and I'd love if you could go check it out. It's not like Johnny Cash. It's very different, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.